بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Assalamu alaikum, my beloved ones, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, our topic today is going to be about the representation in the slaughtering. And like this is the most important topic when it comes to sacrifice. That most of the Hujjaj in caravan, they don't go there. All what they do is represent someone to slaughter or their sacrifice on their behalf. So this is the very important topic, that we need to make sure that our representation was correct, and we need to feel that our responsibility has been relieved. So the question number one: if someone delegates someone to sacrifice on his behalf, and then he doubts, what is the ruling? If the doubt was after coming back to his hometown and month of Dhul Hajj was over. So as the questioner knows that if it's still month of Dhul Hajj, things can be made up. Okay. But after coming back to hometown and after the passing of the month of Dhul Hajj, what should a person do? So here he says, if the doubt happened that sacrifice was done or not after shaving the head and doing the taqsir, then he should ignore the doubt. However, if it was before that, then he should confirm before shaving the head or before clipping, before exiting the state of ihram. Need to double check. So he need to confirm that the sacrifice animal was purchased and sacrificed. However, if he neglects that that thing about the animal being purchased and slaughtered, if he neglects to verify and confirm, then his Hajj will be insufficient. The validity of the Hajj will be problematic by sufficing on this this doubt. Okay. This doubt is not sufficient. You have to confirm after you have exited the ihram and the doubt encountered. That's no problem. So he says that the validity of Hajj and sufficiency of representing somebody in Mina in the upcoming year, it's problematic. You see, because you ignored, you doubted. Why did you double check before you do the exiting of the state of ihram, or before you shave off your head, or before the tafsir? Why did you confirm? So that is number one. Number two, so what's the solution? He kept us in limbo. Problematic. His Hajj will be problematic. Hajj will be problematic because he ignored, neglect. That means it's an obligatory program. He's not say your Hajj is invalid. He's not say your Hajj is valid. You have to find someone who has a who has a solution to fix this problem which you encountered, because you ignored, you neglected the doubt. This is the intentional ignorance. Remember, intentional ignorance is you encountered the doubt and you don't pay attention to it to fix it, and you let it go. That is after the taqsir. And we did a lot of rulings in intentional ignorance, intentional unawareness. So this is one of the good examples that you doubted, but you carried on and you did the slaughter, you did the taqsir and shaved the head and did the non. did the tawaf of Hajj and Salat tawaf of Hajj and Sa'i between Safa and Marwa and did the tawaf and Nisa. The whole package of Hajj is problematic. Excuse me. Though the sacrifice is not from the pillars of Hajj, it is obligatory. But here we have negligence, intentional. If somebody intentional does not sacrifice, kiss your Hajj goodbye. So this doubt encountering and not paying attention to the doubt and not verifying is intentional ignorance. You remained unaware in the situation of doubt, knowing that you are doubting and knowing you are able to verify and you did not verify. But if you tried to verify and you attended sessions and then you did not know or you forgot. So we said that if somebody forgot, it's acceptable. But for someone who's unaware and intentional unawareness, no way. So he said, find someone else for me. Your Hajj is in limbo, obligatory precaution, because intentional unawareness is like intentional not doing, to say the Sistani Damadullah. But still, because there was doubt, so he's not giving a fatwa of invalidity of Hajj. Maybe some Maraja might have some way to help him out with this doubt. But to say the Sistani, he says, sorry, I mean, on the basis of obligatory precaution, you have to repeat the Hajj. Even, even if somebody slaughters for you next year, you intentionally left it. Slaughtering next year for somebody who forgot or in unintentional awareness. Okay, somebody delegated someone to represent to slaughter on his behalf on the 13th day due to some reasons. And then he was satisfied that the person did it. Satisfaction. Then after that, after the sunset, the doubt encountered. What will be the ruling? Now here, there is no mentioning about taqsir and halq and shaving of the head. Here, sunset. 30th day, sunset happens, the time of sacrifice is done. So whatever is there, it's like qada kind of scenario. So what will happen? There's no problem. He says, La shay ali, there's no problem in it. Why? So now we get from these two rulings, a rule of thumb. If the doubt happens, you sacrifice. If the doubt happens after two stages where it is considered passing of the previous stage. Number one, doing the taqsir and shaving, exiting the state of ihram by shaving or clipping the hair. Even if it was in a daytime you doubted, but you are done. You entered another stage. Ignore your doubt. Number two, you doubted after the sunset of 13th. There's no room to do qada. There's no room to do makeup. The time has gone. Ignore the doubt. I'll give you an example. Someone wakes up in the morning and he normally does Salat al-Fajr. That day he's doubting. Did I do Salat al-Fajr today or not? What will we say? If you are in time, the sun has not risen, you have not done Salat al-Fajr. Go pray Fajr. If the sun has risen, he woke up, looks like I prayed. I don't think so. Yes, I think so. No, I don't know what happened. I don't remember. No problem. The time has gone. The time for Salat al-Fajr is gone. Okay, and it's a doubt. Ignore the doubt. You see, if you were in time, you pray. If you are out of time and doubted that did I pray or not, consider it done. Same thing here. If you're in the time of sacrifice, the deadline is sunset of the 13th of Dhul Hajj. The month of Dhul Hajj is an exceptional case for somebody who forgot or somebody who had unintentional ignorance or so, those kind of things. But intentionally, 13th Dhul Hajj is your deadline, Maghrib. So time passed. You're doubting. Did the guy sacrifice or not? You don't have any assurity. Sacrifice. There's nothing on him. So either the time of sacrifice goes away, either you enter a next stage after the sacrifice, your doubt is negligible. Before that, that means before the sunset and before the shaving and clipping of the hair, your doubt should be addressed. Let's see question number 3. If somebody, again, uh, same question. Now we know the rule of the thumb, so it's going to be applied on all these sections. So this question is that he gave a delegation to someone to slaughter on his behalf. Okay. Then he doubted. Were the conditions fulfilled? Did he observe the conditions? Remember, checking the front and the behind, the teeth, and to check the age and all those kind of things. So can he consider, it's a doubt, okay? So can he consider that he did his job okay, perfectly on the doubt? He says, yes, he can consider it. Why? It's a doubt. Excuse me. The slaughtering happened. He told them, Khalas, you can get off to exit the ihram. He doubts, did he really fulfill the conditions or not? Did he really check the age and the defects and all those kind of things? So in this case, what will happen that he says that there is no problem. I mean, why? Here we have a rule which says عمل المسلم يحمل عمل المسلم على الصحة. That the actions of the Muslims should be taken as valid if we doubt. Okay? In other words, a person is innocent until proven guilty. You don't know he did right or wrong, he did right, giving him benefit of doubt. That's the rule of thumb. عمل المسلم عمل المسلم يحمل على الصحة. صحة. So he said, if you gave someone reliable, you delegated him, okay, and he took the delegation, that means he knows the rules. Okay, he will not take huge responsibility just to go there and rot in between those dead corpses of this and smelly area and blood area. He it's not an entertaining place, the slaughterhouse. Okay, so he must have this notion of making sure that he will do it right, and he has the piety and God cautiousness that he would do it right. So you will do all the benefit of doubt. Okay, but if somebody was negligence and he was like a Dracula type of nature vampire, he loves the smell of blood and he loves the seeing the corpse kind of, and that's very odd. But if you know that this guy is going there just to feel the blood and the dead bodies, crazy guy perhaps, then why should you even give him the representation? So that the fault is yours. But in general, these people, they go to help Hujjaj to earn some thawab. They will not commit sins there and cheat you guys. Oh, we did, and they will start taking. Unless if it was paid guy, okay, and his aim was earning money, then skeptics can happen. But then you delegated that person. So if he did wrong, you're responsible for redoing. So that's why when you choose someone who is going to sacrifice as a delegate, you need to make sure you have satisfaction that the person who's going to represent you is a right person and not wrong person. Okay. Question number 4. Yeah, so the question number 3 was he doubts that were the conditions fulfilled in this animal of sacrifice. or the condition required in the sacrifice were fulfilled. So he'll say, yes, inshallah, you can consider that they were fulfilled. Question number 4. If someone gave the money of the animal of sacrifice to government, many people they do like that because they don't know, they are not aware that we have fiqh differences, you see, and that's how the government respects. They know that Shia Ithna Ashariya are followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, and they're very close to the school of companion. The evil Knievel from both sides, they bring these issues to separate those madhab. Otherwise, 80 to 90% of the things we do are same. Okay. In aqaid, we have few differences in practices. So respect needs to be there for Sunnis, and Sunnis, they need to respect the Shias. So moderation needs to be there. Extremism is not helpful. It's from shaitan. Okay. Like cursing each other and sending each other in Jahannam. You Sunnis are in Jahannam, you Shia, everybody sends people in Jahannam as they have become gods on the earth. Na'udhu billah. But you do whatever you feel that's obligated to you. You do whatever is, and don't disrespect your fellow Muslims. These both are saying, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Yes, Ashhadu anna Ali and Waliwa, but they consider Ali as Imam and most knowledgeable, Salamullah alayh, and not like some of the Bani Umayyas who was cursing. But let's try to maintain some respect between the Shias and the Sunnis. So someone, he did not know. He gave he purchased what they say, a ticket of the 500 riyals you pay, for example, and they give you a ticket that khalas, don't worry about the slaughtering, it will be done by us. Now they do it, they don't do it, satisfaction. That is the problem here because of the fiqh. Forget the Sunni fellows, even the Shia followers of some Maraja, they say you can sacrifice in your hometown. Majority, they say no, in Mina or in Haram, in Makkah. Okay. But there's no, it will go waste, this and that, just slaughter it there. Instead of doing that, the followers of mainstream Maraja, they need to find ways that it does not go waste. Now, I know some of the caravans, mashallah, they do smart movement. They hire a truck and they keep it beside the slaughterhouse and 2 workers. And every goat is sacrificed, they just fill in the truck. And they hire a freezing company who freezes for them. And then they cook for the Hujjaj. So the sacrifice they slaughtered, they take money for feeding them and they feed them their own sacrifice. That's fine as long as it doesn't go waste. You can feed the sacrifice of Hujjaj to the, because the one who gave you the delegation of sacrifice, he dealt with it and gave you. He said, you do whatever you want to do. Don't bring me the goat and I have to carry it in the hometown and something. Just do whatever. Don't show me the goat. I trust you. So therefore, some of them, let's say the question is that if someone purchased a ticket of sacrifice from the government slaughterhouses, which declare that we slaughter on behalf of Hujjaj, that they slaughter on behalf of the Hujjaj, and he did not pay attention that there is a religious difference between the school of Ahlul Bayt and school of companion, and the conditions required in both schools. Fiqh, it's fiqh. Even the Arba' Madhahib, they have difference fiqh. We have our Maraja, they have differences in fiqh. So until after he came back to Makkah, he realized, oh, some wise guy, some Maulana told him that, oh, you know that our ahkam is different. Their ahkam is different. We respect them. But we have to make sure that the sacrifice is done according to the madhab of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salatu wassalam. So what will be his responsibility? He says if he was unaware, okay? If he was unintentional, unaware. So qasir, muqassir. Muqassir is intentional. He doubted, he ignored. So you are in trouble. If someone had unintentional, because this guy seems to be unintentional. If he knows, he will not go and purchase this ticket, okay, of slaughtering. So why would he do that if he knows? So he was jahil. Even if he has doubt, he would try to confirm. But if he neglected a doubt, there's a problem there, like we did in the previous ruling. So this person was not intentionally unaware. Okay. After the month of Dhul Hajj, he realized, somebody said, how was the slaughtering, this and that? How is your goat? I never saw the goat. Alhamdulillah. I was relieved from the blood and this and that. How did you do? I just purchased the ticket. What? You purchased the ticket? Yeah, purchased the ticket. Aren't they Muslims? Yes, they are Muslims. But among the Sunni school of thought, they have differences in these issues. And among the Shias, they have differences. So you need to see who do you follow, taqleed, your marja. So therefore, he says that um, if the month of Dhul Hajj is exited, okay, then he should slaughter in Makkah. No, before the month of Dhul Hajj exits, he should slaughter in Makkah and fast in the replacement of the animal of sacrifice, those 10 days. After the exit of the Dhul Hajj month, he says it's okay. You can slaughter next year. Why? Because it was unintentional. His unawareness was unintentional. So the bottom line is, if the month of Dhul Hajj is there, sacrifice, fast. If the month of Dhul Hajj is gone, next year, sacrifice. Okay? So combine between sacrifice in Makkah and fast, if the month of Dhul Hajj is there. After the passing of the month of Dhul Hajj, just sacrifice next year. Now, this question again is lengthy, and I think if the gist is, so he says that, again, the ruling is about the ticket. And when a person is given ticket, he is told that they will slaughter on your behalf. Don't worry about it. And there is a possibility they may be allowed to choose their goat of sacrifice. And yeah. So there are 3 scenarios. Scenario number 1, the ticket issue, governmental ticket of sacrifice. He says that if, let me see what's happening. Okay. Yeah. So number 1, Sayyid Sistani says, if a Hajji person, if the Hajji was able to confirm that the sacrifice through the ticket was done in the time and the place required religiously, like in Mina, and before passing of 13th Dhul Hajj. Number 1, confirmation, because you don't need to have Shia slaughterer. A Muslim slaughter is required. So they are Muslim. But our problem is the conditions. We have differences in conditions. And so confirmation about the time and the place, confirmation about the conditions required in the animal of sacrifice, condition of the slaughterer being Muslim. Then, such as the recitation of Bismillah and facing towards the Qibla is also, if they slaughter according to their madhab, some of the madhab or most of the madhab, they don't require Qibla. But if the Shia slaughter is going to slaughter, then he needs to make sure that the Qibla is faced. So if these conditions, condition number 1, place and time, condition number 2, animal of sacrifice, condition number 3, the slaughterer, Muslim, finish. It's okay. That the ticket issue. But that's the thing, the confirmation is a big issue. Number two scenario. If someone was able to confirm that the slaughtering happened in the place and the time of the sacrifice required, and the slaughterer was Muslim, but he was not able to know that the conditions of the animals of sacrifice existed or not, then on the basis of obligatory. So two conditions, two things are confirmed: place and time, Mina 13, before 13. Number two, the slaughterer is a Muslim and fulfills the conditions of slaughtering. Number three, animal of sacrifice here. He was not able to confirm that the animal of sacrifice fulfilled the condition, the age and the lack of defect, serious defect. Then he says, combine with the sacrifice you have given plus fast those 10 days. Scenario number three is the one you say, kiss your sacrifice goodbye. So the scenario number three, if he was not able to confirm the place and the time required for the sacrifice, then his responsibility was to fast. And if he was, even if he was able to, slaughter in Makkah in the remaining days of the Hajj, or to give the money of sacrifice to someone who's satisfied, whom he has satisfaction that he is going to slaughter on his behalf. So even the fasting is must. Even if he knows, even if he is able to, the fasting is must. Okay? Even if he's able to do another sacrifice the remaining days of the Hajj. Then, so I think the question was, okay, yeah. So the time was passed. He doesn't know that. Was it sacrifice in the time or out of the time? The time has passed. So now he is able to sacrifice in Makkah. He says on the basis of obligatory precaution, fast. No, so his responsibility will be to fast. And if he was able to slaughter in Makkah in the remaining days of Dhul Hajj, or to place an amount to someone trustworthy whom he is satisfied that he will slaughter in the month of Dhul Hajj, then he can do that, but still the fasting will be recommended precaution, not obligatory precaution. So this is فَالْأَحْوَطِ الْأَوْلَى ضَمُّ ذَلِكَ إِلَى الصِّيَامِ. So if he's able to provide sacrifice in the remaining days of Dhul Hajj or give money to someone, fasting will be recommended precaution. He says in some caravans there are so many Hujjaj, such as Irani Hujjaj, and there's so much difficulty associated for slaughtering their sacrifices, especially taking them to the Mu'aysim Valley. Remember Mu'aysim Valley? It's in the vicinity of the Haram. So the organization of Hajj and Ziyarat in Iran, so they start slaughtering the committee of Hajj for Iranians. They start slaughtering the goats or sheep for the Hujjaj based on the list. They have lists. So they start after the sunrise on the day of Eid. They complete the whole bulk number of sacrifices end of the day of 13th. And a person is performing Hajji, he doesn't know that was his Hajj slaughtered on the 10th or 11th, was his sacrifice slaughtered on 10th or 11th or 12th. He doesn't know. He wants to get out of the haram. So the thing is that, and another thing, I mean, after the sunrise, they start slaughtering. And you're supposed to throw the stone after the sunrise. So your goat of sacrifice might have been slaughtered before pelting the stone of big pillar of shaitan. So what will happen then? Okay, you stoned before the sacrifice. I mean, you sacrificed, your sacrifice was done before the stone. Yeah. So they don't know that their sacrifice was before the stoning or after the stoning. Okay. So, and they don't know when was their sacrifice done. And so some of the Hujjaj sacrifice might have been done before the stoning. And this is against the obligatory precaution to you, Sayyidina. But they can refer to another scholar next in line in A'lamiyya. Oh my goodness, it's a very long question. Yes, let's see the questioner. What does it have? And these kind of questions are scholarly questions because lay people, they just ask one line. The whole scenario is there. I hope the answer is not in 2, 3 pages. Let's see. Okay. Most of the Hujjaj, they might even go and shave their head or do the taqsir, exit the state of ihram. Okay. Before the sacrifice in Mina. Because like maybe 1,000 goat, okay, or 900 goat every day, 333 goat, 300 goats are sacrificed. Nobody knows that whose goat. I mean, there must be way they were calling that list number 1 done, list number 2 done. I mean, if I was in their place, I would inform them so those people can start shaving their head and exit the state of ihram and go Makkah and do the amal if they want to do the same day. Yeah, so again, can all these ihtiyatat, can someone refer? They can't wait, and the sequence you have is based on obligatory precaution. So can they refer to another marja and shave off the head and exit the state of ihram? Because the goat of sacrifice has been purchased, but we don't know that it has been slaughtered or not. And your precautionary measure is that it should be done based on obligatory precaution. But one issue is remaining. Let's say they refer to another marja and they they did the shaving or the clipping of the hair, or their stoning was done before their sacrifice. So one issue is there, that will they exit the state of ihram by shaving or clipping their hair if they are not able to wait until they get the confirmation of the sacrifice? So is this obligatory precaution so they can refer and just they can just exit the state of ihram, khalas? I mean, and whenever the sacrifice happens as long as they have purchased the sacrifice. He says عدم الخروج بالحلق عن الإحرام إلا مع تحقق الذبح فتوى. He says um, I mean, you can shave and clip off your hair, but removing the cloth, wearing the normal dress, exiting the state of ihram, he says it is not exiting the state of ihram after the fulfillment of the sacrifice is not ihtiyat, it's not obligatory precaution, it's fatwa. So that means even if you shave off your head, you are still in the state of ihram. So you don't exit the state of ihram. And we mentioned this previously. So it's not obligatory precaution. So even if you shave, you're still in the state of ihram until you get the confirmation. Oh, you're done. Okay. Question number 7. If someone slaughtered on behalf of someone else, voluntarily, he did not tell him, I am giving you delegation to slaughter on my behalf. He did not give him this kind of thing. This guy just, he loves this guy, brother in Islam, uh, Islamic romantic, spiritual bromances, whatever you can say. He just loves this brother. He's an amazing person, and he has been, maybe he was bestower of favor on him, so he just wants to do a favor. So he was not delegated to slaughter on behalf of his brother. But he knows, he says, if someone goes and slaughters on behalf of someone and he's certain that he will be pleased with it and he will be happy, okay, without that person delegating him, will it be sufficient? No. لا يجزي بذلك. No bromantic and bromance. You need to make sure that you are represented. He gave you the representation and power of attorney to slaughter on his behalf, going just like that due to the bromantic reasons. Yeah. Same thing, same question number 8, but it's on behalf of his wife without any delegation from her. But he knows knowledge that she depends on him. My husband, whatever you can do to complete my Hajj, do. Okay. And so he knows that she's depending on him in everything, whatever she cannot do, especially the slaughtering. So the answer is no. If she had not given that person, her husband, delegation verbally, like verbally or by any action, like written form, anything, there's no certainty about the delegation, okay, to represent her, then it will not be sufficient. However, if there was an indication of delegation, verbal or non-verbal, then it would be sufficient. So the question number 9 is, does someone have to give the delegation to offer the sacrifice verbally? He said, no. Anything that indicates an email, an SMS message, a written thing, anything accepted in the intellectual society, obviously. So anything that indicates, if he says like that, what does that mean? That are you going to kill me? Let's say he was mute, he couldn't talk. And he said, oh my goodness, are you going to kill me? No, Baba, the context is Hajj. You are in Hajj and in Mina, that may, or before Mina, he's telling you, you sacrifice on my behalf. Okay, not I'll kill you. Those actions can be deceiving if the context was not in Mina. So anything, not verbally, verbal, non-verbal indication, which confirms the certainty is important that you are delegated. Question number 10. So if it was known that the caravan leader collects the money of the Hajj inclusive the sacrifice, because the announcement says this is the package of Hajj inclusive sacrifice. So that then does the caravan leader of Hajj needs to take permission from each one of them so in order to slaughter on their behalf, or it's sufficient that they receive the money in the package and he can go? Because this is an action. He gave him money. It's written in the announcement. It is inclusive sacrifice. Please add 100 euros in the package. It's there, including sacrifice. Sometimes I've seen announcement, inclusive sacrifice. Sometimes I've seen announcement putting plus sacrifice, because maybe somebody says, no, I'll do in my sacrifice. I don't want to wait for 100 Hujjaj. You guys are going to sacrifice. I've been Hajj for several times. I take a taxi and just go and sacrifice on my behalf. I don't want to stay in Ihram longer time until everybody is done. And I just want to go in Makkah and do my amal and relax in the hotel in Makkah, or just go to Makkah and relax in the hotel and then go for amal later on after I've regained my strength, whatever reasons. So therefore, is it sufficient in the non-verbal indication in the announcement of the flyer of the Hajj and the caravan leader receives it. So Sayyidi Sistani Damodullah says there are two things. One is purchasing the sacrifice, one is slaughtering the sacrifice. Okay? So if the amount mentioned is to purchase the sacrifice, if it was written this, I mean, obviously the context indicates that if he's going to take the money, he's going to sacrifice on your behalf. Or maybe it may be some wise guy will say, I want to do my own sacrifice. I'm giving you this money, buy goat for me because I don't have experience in, but I will do the sacrifice by myself. I know how to slaughter and this and that. For whatever reasons, Sayyidi Sistani Damodullah says that it doesn't 100% indicate that slaughtering is inclusive. So that means in the announcement, when you give 100 euros, make sure that you are delegating the hamladar to slaughter on their behalf. That's what Sayyidi Sistani says. So he says receiving the amount of sacrifice is not indicative more than he's an agent to buy the animal of sacrifice. That's it. He's an agent that will buy the sacrifice. However, to delegate for sacrifice, that may be understood from the context. And in the context, one of the context is that normally the caravan leader does that thing for them without referring to the Hajj. So he says that would be sufficient. And as I said, I mean, they say, we'll collect you. Rarely some wise guy comes, no, please, then you have to say that don't sacrifice on my behalf. Because the context of charging and getting the money of sacrifice is that he's giving you delegation to sacrifice. And it used to happen. I mean, I would sit in a corner and those who want us to sacrifice, they'll come and I'll write the list, the names and collect the money. Okay. And then I'll go with the person who's sacrificer, who's expert in knowing the animals and do the thing for on behalf of the Hujjaj. If someone delegates someone to slaughter on his behalf and then that person delegated someone else, you see, like the neck bone is connected to the jawbone and all those kind of things. So someone delegated me to sacrifice the sacrifice of Hajj, and I delegated someone else, a third person. Okay, so is this carrying forward the delegation permissible? Okay, without the first person knowing, the one who delegated knowing that it's a chain of delegation. He says there's no problem in that. In lump sum, the guy who has been delegated, he can delegate someone else to sacrifice because maybe he's not a person who's expert in sacrifice. So the context is known, okay, that when you give somebody a money, they are responsible of sacrificing, finish. Their responsibility is. Now, who sacrifices? People, Hujjaj are not interested. Hujjaj are interested giving money, please arrange our sacrifice. Do our sacrifice on behalf. They don't say, Maulana, I want you to sacrifice on behalf of me. That's rarely done. Okay, if you do that, the Maulana will say you do your own sacrifice. Baba, I'm not a sacrifice, I'm just a supervisor. In most of the case, they are like that. Some Maulanas, no, they're like from North Pakistan, the mountain areas, they come, they are sacrificers. The Maulanas, mashallah. So, but not every Maulana is like that, as I said. So, but the Maulana takes the responsibility that the sacrifice will be done. He's a supervisor, okay, and not sacrificer. Question number 12. The delegation, when should someone delegate? Can they delegate after pelting, after stoning the pillar, or before? Okay, before pelting this pillar? He says it is sufficient to delegate someone to slaughter before stoning. I mean, many times, I mean, with the flyer, when you go to give caravan leader the money, you are delegating him, even in your hometown. So you can delegate, okay? Um, you can delegate someone to before even the rami, before the stoning. Yes, it is required that the slaughtering happens after the rami, after the stoning. So the delegate slaughters after. And so there's some Maulana there. I'm in the slaughterhouse with the slaughtering team, and we are calling, Fulan did the Rami. So anyone comes, does the Rami, there's another Maulana or team sitting, they're writing the names. Fulan did the stoning, Fulan did the stoning, stoning, stoning. And they call me. Fulan, these people, the list number one, A, B, C, D, they did the stoning. So that is the after the slaughtering needs to be done after the stoning. The delegate needs to stone after, but delegation can be taken before. Let's say I know for sure that the person I've delegated, this question number 13, will slaughter on my behalf. I know. Okay. So can I just go and shave and get rid of the ihram and wear my normal clothing in the day of Eid? Or I have to wait until I get the information that the slaughtering has been done by my agent, the representative or the delegate. He says one must wait until the satisfaction, until the satisfaction of the agent having slaughtered on his behalf is done. So until you are not satisfied, you should not be doing the shaving or clipping of the hair. Okay? So the person should wait. عليه الانتظار إلى حين الاطمئنان بشراء الهدي. So once you are satisfied that the agent has purchased the animal of sacrifice, then you can shave. We said this before. Purchasing is sufficient to shave or to clip off your hair. But to remove the ihram, to exit the ihram, you need to have satisfaction that the slaughter has been done. So why should I even shave before? Because sometimes there are queues with the barber. And sometimes the shavers are plenty, but are they going to shaver according to the hygienic thing? Or somebody's blade has been used on your blade and you bleed with the blade, and then AIDS and those kind of disease transmit. So people are very peculiar. Even if they go to the barber, they have their own razor with them. They tell them, use this razor. And they have their sanitizer. You sanitize my head before you run the blade. And after you run the blade, sanitize so that I can feel the burn of the sanitizer on my. The precautionary measures needs to be taken, because they are not going to, they take 10 real. They're not going to use a new razor for you. Some of them you have to ask them. Most of them, they don't use new razor. But unless if you want, they will take out new razor and they might charge you extra for new razor. But many are from Bangladesh and those countries, poor countries, they just go with the used razors. Maybe they are immune more. Okay. So this is the thing. So, yeah. Yeah. So why would somebody just shave and still the sacrifice has not been offered. They've purchased the goat of sacrifice, animal of sacrifice. They've been informed, we have purchased. Now we are waiting until your turn comes. And there's a long queue on the barber. For any reason, they want to just shave, but they cannot exit the state of ihram. Okay? They will, until they get the information, satisfaction that the slaughtering has been done. He says, is it required that the agent does the intention of achieving the nearness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on behalf of Hajj, and and is it necessary that the slaughterer must know that this goat is not any goat of eating, feeding, kafara, it is goat of sacrifice or animal of sacrifice? Okay? So, two things. The representative in slaughtering. Two things. Should he do the niyat, intention of achieving the nearness to Allah? That means, is it ibadah? Number two, should he know, the slaughterer, that this is a sacrifice of Hajj and not any other goat? He says, yes. Qurbatan ilallah is must, because it's ibadah, worship. So it is, yes, it is necessary to have the intention of achieving the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by offering this sacrifice on behalf of the representative. However, he doesn't need to know. He doesn't have to specify that this is hadi. No, he just needs to know that I am performing the sacrifice on behalf of the one who gave me the power of attorney to sacrifice with the intention he has in his heart. That means your intention needs to be linked to the intention of Hajj. So it's a وَيَكْفِي أَنْ يَنْوِي. It is sufficient to make the intention to slaughter the animal the way the Hajji has intended. So if he has intended kafara, this will be kafara. If he's intended sacrifice of Hajj, it will be sacrifice of Hajj. If he's intended to feed the mu'mineen, make a party of Hajj being done, that will be. So the intention of the representative is, it's sufficient to say that I'm representing the one who have delegated me to slaughter on his behalf for whatever intention he has made. We mentioned this, the slaughterer, can a slaughterer be from other school of thought? He said yes, as long as it's Muslim, it is sufficient. Question number 16. The intention of the slaughterer. If the delegate, okay, إذا استناب النائب عن غيره في الحج شخصا. So the representatives gave the representation to someone else to slaughter on behalf of the one whom he is representing. Chain of representation. So I gave you representation, you gave someone else. Okay. So what intention should that person make? Intention on my behalf, who's Hajji, the sacrifice is mine, or intention of on your behalf, you gave to the third person. So who, that third person, when he's sacrificing, should he put you in his intention or put me in his intention? So he says, the one who's the owner of the sacrifice, the Hajji. So he's supposed to slaughter on my behalf, the original representative, not the secondary representative. Okay, the original representator, delegator, not the secondary delegator. So to make the words easy, the delegate, there are two delegates. First delegate, the original one, who's the owner of the sacrifice. Second delegate, the delegate of the delegate. Okay, so he delegated someone else. So delegator number one, delegator number two. Intention should be on behalf of delegator number one. For us, when we go, we also mention the name of the Hajji. This is on behalf of Fulan, Fulan, Fulan. Even if the slaughterer is not saying, I say, he listens, Bismillah, Wallahu Akbar. So it is specifically the environment, the air has the name of the one who's being, so the listener, the slaughterer listens to the name. Uh, Please, this is on behalf of Fulan ibn Fulan or Fulan Fulan, Kimji, Mimji, Bhimji, whatever we Khojas, we have the G's on their on behalf of that. So there is a kind of mentioning the name so that the slaughterer listens the name and slaughters on behalf of that person. And even if if someone represented me to perform the Hajj on his behalf, so I am a representative of somebody in hometown and or some deceased person, and I represented another one, and that person represented a first, second, third, fourth, regardless of who and how many people are in the middle. The original representative or the delegator, he is the one who should be in the intention. Two more questions, and I think we'll be done for today. Let's see. Question number 17. Again, the representation. Okay, someone represented a person to slaughter on his behalf, to purchase and slaughter in an absolute representation. Can this person, as an absolute representation, hire someone else to slaughter on behalf? Okay, now he's going to pay somebody money, not just representing another representative. He's going to represent someone else by paying him some money. So he says that if he had a permission, and this permission doesn't need to be verbal, like I said, caravan of the Hajj package, you paid for the package. That means you gave him the full responsibility to slaughter on his behalf. So if he was given the permission to appoint a representative, then it is permissible. And so the intention again needs to be for the أن يؤجر شخصا في عملية الذبح على أن يتولى هو الوكيل فعلى أن okay, there's a specification here. The general representation was given, but there was a specific thing. What was that specific thing? I want you personally to make the intention. Okay, the slaughterer, that you make the intention. I want you to make the intention directly, the slaughterer. So he says, if that delegate was given the permission to appoint someone else, yes, he can appoint someone else. But in that case, where the intention is required to be, because he hired someone. So ولا بد عندئذ أن يتولى النية النائب المباشر للذبح. So who will do the intention? The one who's slaughtering. Question number 18. Can I slaughter someone else's sacrifice before I slaughter mine? Yeah. So why is that problem? I mean, why people they think like that? Bleeding. Yeah, you can't bleed yourself, but you can bleed the sacrifice. Okay. You shouldn't bleed. You shouldn't bleeding. Those are some of the things which are prohibitions of ihram, and it's also like a different scenario. But we are talking about your slaughtering. You're not shaving the your hair, okay? You're just running the knife on the. So yes, you can slaughter someone else's before you slaughter yours. So the question number 19 is, can someone be a representative in a sale contract for the sacrifice to do on behalf of two person? Like what? Like I've been given representation to buy, okay? And I've been given representation from the seller to collect the amount. So I'm going to be like, one person represents a husband, the guy and the girl to do the nikah contract. So one person, can he represent the seller and the buyer at the same time? Yes, he said there's no problem. Final question number 20. Is it required in the condition of delegation that the representative knows whose sacrifice is it? Okay. So is there a condition in order for the representation or delegation to be valid in buying and slaughtering the animal of sacrifice, that the delegator, the one who delegated, should be known personally uh, to the one who's going to delegate. Okay. So is it required for the agent to know the delegator personally? He says that is not a condition. Yes, it specification is required that Fulan ibn Fulan. Now, who's Fulan ibn Fulan? You don't have to know. His date of birth, his identity, his personal. Just to slaughter on behalf of Fulan ibn Fulan, just specify, okay? Um, so أن يكون معينا في الواقع. In reality, he's specified specification such as أن يوكل الشخص الذي طلب زيد توكيله وإن لم يعرفه. Okay, so I don't know the one who's going to sacrifice on my behalf. It looks like it's opposite. Some of these questions are so for example, هل يشترط في صحة الشراء في شراء الهدي أن يكون الوكيل, the agent, the one who's going to buy the sacrifice, the one who's going to slaughter the sacrifice, he needs to be known personally. This is how the question is. I'm going to rephrase it. Knowing the agent who's going to buy, knowing the agent personally, specifically, who's going to buy the sacrifice and slaughter it, is required in the validity of the agency or validity of the representation? He said, no, you don't need to know the one who's going to buy and slaughter. Okay. Yes, he needs to be a specific person in reality, such as you delegate someone, okay, you tell, please tell that person to sacrifice for all this Hujjaj. Do you know him? No, I don't know him. But he sacrifices for people, and inshallah, his sacrificing is satisfactory. So you don't know the specifics. Okay? That is permissible. Unknown and personal level. However, unknown on personal level, however, known to be one person to represent. But he said, however, delegating two people in hesitation, either this or either this, that is not permissible. The bottom line is the delegate, the agent who's going to buy and sacrifice must be a specific one person, even if you don't know him personally, but cannot be in between unknown who is specific, unknown specific, like unspecified between two agents. That is not permissible. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. Inshallah, we will continue بإذن الله تعالى in our next session from question number 21. I know there's so many questions here, but it is a learning process, especially for the Hausa students. So we still have a bit 20 questions more, and to complete the chapter of sacrifice. Until we meet again, congratulations on the 15th Sha'ban. Lots of congratulations. Wassalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.